Well, good morning. Welcome back to the broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Tuesday, November 16th, 2021. And our top story today, how to increase your savings by spending. Well, joining me now to discuss this and a lot more is Ziga Vizintin. He's advisor to the management board at Polkodziniska Druzba A Pension Fund. Ziga, always great to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
All right, so let's talk about this research paper that you wrote with your colleague, or friend, I should say. Well, she's a colleague in the industry, Seda Peksivim from Turkey. And really, the thesis here is that you can spend and save for retirement. But break it down for us.
Yes, exactly that. Basically, we were exploring in the paper a concept that first sounds contradictory, which is saving while you are spending. So everybody will first think, if we want to save, we need to stop spending, and what is left, we will save. But we all know this is very hard because we've got a certain thing called present bias, and we overweight current things, like we all want to buy the new shoes, new cars, new clothes, and we say what will be left, we will leave to saving. And in the end, this is very little. So there's a concept called saving by spending, in which you automate that while you are spending, an automatic amount will be transferred to your saving account or your retirement account. So basically, this is what the paper is all about.
And so let's break this down a little bit. It sounds to me almost like, and I'm assuming they have this in Slovenia, but like rewards cards. Like if I go out and I buy something, I have a rewards card, and sometimes I'm rewarded in miles. But I think what you're discussing here is that a consortium, government, private sector, retailers, tech, really kind of coming up with incentives for people to buy their products, and then a portion allocated back to savings. Is that correct?
True. As you said, loyalty programs are well known. But in most cases in Slovenia, you get an extra frying pan or something like this if you buy at a certain supermarket. Nobody did it in this kind of scale that you would transfer those savings to a retirement account. So there's now an application already running for, I think, 2 years called Miles for Retirement in Mexico. Basically, it works like this. You can connect your credit card to your retirement saving account. And anytime you will buy something with that credit card, a predetermined percentage, like 1%, 2%, will be transferred to your saving account automatically. So it's basically set it as and forget it. So you spend and you save automatically. But what is really key here, I think, is the second feature of Miles for Retirement application, because we know for low-income people, you can't save if you're making minimum wage, because you really left out, end of the day, you don't have anything left to put into your saving account. So this is where the second feature of Miles really kicks in, because they've got special partner promotions with like a supermarket. And when you buy a certain product, like let's say a loaf of bread or a pint of milk, the merchant will pay an extra amount in your saving account. So you will buy a loaf of bread, I don't know, for €5. They will put 50 cents in your saving account. So basically, in this way, you can save also if you don't put any of your money in it. So this is, I think, a really important feature that really helps even the ones who can't save on their own. If they buy things smartly, if they choose where they buy and which products, that they will get these extra payments from the merchants into their savings accounts.
I really like this idea, because it kind of, you were talking about present day bias. It kind of brings the present and the future together. And I can imagine, and let's talk a little bit about Miles in Retirement with Mexico. How has that program done? You said it's been piloted for 2 years. Have they seen an uptick in savings contribution rates?
Yes, currently from what we gather, the latest statistics, is generating the most individual extra payments in the retirement system in the whole of Mexico. So it's picking up. It's picking up slowly because we need to know people who are joining are more low income and have lower amounts of payments. So it's trickling, but it's really happening. So I think once this chain of promotions expands, so you have more and more articles than you can shop, I think this really has a potential. And I also think what's key in the Mexico thing is it's a basically joint venture. It was designed from a private company, but it was backed up by the whole of the retirement industry and the government. So basically, really here, all the players joined forces to help people save for retirement, which is quite unique.
So what do you need to set this up? Can you break it down? We've only got a few more minutes left in the segment. We can carry over into the second. But technically, what do you need to do? And I'm just trying to, because I want to set up a conversation in segment 2 about where this can go, how you can apply this to other countries. But how do you set something like this up technically?
For miles, all you need is a tax number and you need a credit card. That's it. You download a mobile application, you put in your tax number, you connect your credit card to it, and it's ready to go. And you can already go into a store and pay for it, and a percentage that you will set will go in your saving account. So that's all you need.
And who, in terms of models in retirement, who manages bringing in the brands, the partnerships? I mean, is there
It's a private company managing this. It's called, I think, Vitalis. It's a private company that's an actuarial company. The origin is that. And basically, they're managing it, but the whole thing was really co-made with the government and with the whole retirement industry.
Yeah, it seems really logical. And if the results continue, it really does play out where you could have people, especially those that are underserved in the community, they have to spend money on food. We always hear, Ziga, is, hey, I need to spend money on my food, my shelter, my children, right? I've got to do all those things first before I save my child's education. But if you can somehow put loyalty points into a retirement account, I think that really solves both problems. It probably doesn't get you 100% there, but it gets you to a start. And it probably takes some of the burden off some of the social safety net that exists in Mexico and other countries.
True. I think when we were writing this article, we really came to it like spending, everybody has to spend. And this is a really powerful intervention point that we need to connect with saving. Because everybody needs to, as you said, buy the basics. Why not accumulate savings along the way?
Yeah, really, really smart. I love this. Ziga, I need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more about implementing this system and also where it can be implemented. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers. This free book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. Call right now for your free book, and as a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today.
Call 800-504-8194.
Welcome back. We're talking this morning to Ziga Vizintin. He's the advisor to the management board at Pokojaniska Druzhba A. Ziga, thanks so much for staying with us this morning.
Thanks.
And I really like this. You know, all of us are really around the world are engaged with our credit cards and engaged with loyalty points, whether it's cashback, miles, getting a free frying pan, as you said in segment one. That was funny. I don't think I've fried anything in a frying pan in a long time. But let's talk about how we take this model that's happening in Mexico and can you apply it to other countries? For example, Slovenia, to create this fourth pillar.
Yeah, I think here the main thing we need to recognize it. Classic three-pillar retirement plans like first pillar public and then second and third private pillars, which are mostly corporate ones. A lot of people fall out of this because you've got growing number of informally employed people, you've got self-employed people. Also in developed countries, this is a trend. So more and more people are falling out of the standard corporate DC plan. So it's basically thinking what to do for those kinds of people. And I think, as you said, mobile payments are on the rise. Everybody has either a credit card, but even more people have a mobile phone. In Asia, we know there's a lot of underbanking, but everybody has a mobile phone. So I think combining the mobile technology with mobile payments and connecting them to a form of saving, I think once connected, this can be really easily scaled up. And basically all you would need is a mobile phone with subscription or not, and basically some application that would generate, that would transfer some of your payments to a saving account. And this could be managed in your country or globally. So I think it's something that could really be done with the latest technology. And it's not some science fiction or anything, it's already pre-existing. And if connected in the right way, could enable really people to just save automatically while they are spending.
Let's talk about the underlying investments. Target date funds, target risk funds, managed account. How is that administered, and how do you monitor fees and expenses?
Let's say in the case of Miles for Retirement in Mexico, they have a private pension system where they've got sort of life cycle funds called CFOs, and basically those savings automatically go into those funds, which are their fees are limited and so on. So I think in each country, like in the country of Slovenia, we also have a second pension pillar where we have life cycle funds. This kind of savings could automatically go or in the pre-existing architecture that you have. So I think this could be adapted country to country, or let's say if we speculate in a country that doesn't have second or third pension pillars, I imagine it could be a mobile payment provider, and those savings could be invested in a modern target date fund or an ETF. Why not?
What's interesting is all it takes is a phone. And from what I understand in talking with experts is that even in the emerging markets, people have phones. They have the ability to connect with other people. And if that is the commonality that brings everyone together, this has some real application in those emerging markets. I'm thinking about India, China, other places where they may have pension systems, but as your point, there are a lot of gig workers now. It's a more mobile workforce here in the US, but also globally. I think it's pretty simple to implement.
Yes, and those are, as you said, really big numbers of potential savers. And that's why already payment technologies like Ant Financial are really, really successful in those parts. When I've been to Asia, I was blown away how much basically mobile payments are already above credit card payments in some countries. So it's really, I think, a potential to develop, and also for us in the Western world to learn from it.
Yeah, I think what we do know, and you and I have talked about this, and I've talked about this with SETA and others, the world, we are aging and we're not keeping up. Our fertility rates are low. And so the responsibility is on all of us to be independent, try to be financially secure. And this is a tool. I can't see why anyone would not want to participate in this if you're a retailer, a government, other than the lack of control, right? I mean, at the end of the day, people want to control. I get that. But what are some of the barriers that you think might exist in some of these other governments or some of these other countries?
Well, one thing is, as you said, increasing savings of people is basically democratizing them, giving them more power. And I think that's the biggest plus of saving, basically, that you have power to decide where to work, how to work, and so on. So, of course, there are certain groups that probably wouldn't like this. One thing, if I'm honest, also when I was thinking of the case in Europe, why it's already not implemented or how to implement it is, if we're honest, one part of the financial sector is also offering loans to people, and it's also offering basically more payments, so you can pay in more payments something. And their interest is to encourage people to buy the things today that they can't afford, and they make it possible for them to buy it, give themselves into debt. So basically, I think for this sector, this wouldn't be, they wouldn't like to see these kind of platforms grow, because I'm always in favor of the concept to save it and then spend it, not spend it, get yourself in debt for 30 years or 40 and basically enjoy it now. So I think this is one part of the financial sector is still not, I think, really encouraging people to save, but is basically more providing them long loans in high interest and living very well off of it. So I think this part of the financial system doesn't have interest for this kind of platforms to grow.
Yeah, I mean, certainly no one wants to cannibalize any business. No one wants to cannibalize their successful lines of business on something that could be a pipe dream or that will impact them. But I think it's incumbent upon all of us. Look, we all want to pursue our self-interest. That's human nature. You, me, someone living in India, China, we want to do what we want to do when we want to do it. So that's independence, and that comes with financial security. I think that if more people were aware of this, which is we have venues like this and others to discuss these types of issues, I think people would be on board. So I think we just have to continue to carry these messages. Look, I think the best we can hope for, let's have a dialogue, whether that dialogue's at the, at the government level, the international level, the local level. I think that's all we can ask for.
Sure, I agree very much. And if you put them down, these kinds of ideas are really good. And as you said, I see no reason why they shouldn't be popularized for the benefit of everybody. As like with stores or you're a fan of a certain merchant, for both of them is good that you live long and prosper and are their customer and vice versa. So basically, I think here really is to look long-term, have long-term business relationships and treat your clients as they are long-term, not just to get a quick buck, or how do they say, but really to look at long-term, because it's a relationship. If you spend somewhere your money, it could be a long-term relationship.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. I think a lot of people would agree. We'll continue the conversation. Ziga, great paper. I want to extend thanks to Seda Pixivium as well. Great seeing you as always, Ziga, and we look forward to having you back on the program again very soon.
Thanks for giving me a chance to share this idea.
That wraps up this episode of BRN AM. Have a topic of interest, someone you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the information in retirement, markets, technology, personal finance, so much more, check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Post. We're back again tomorrow. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes.
Are you being audited and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts. but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will work with you using our years of experience to represent your case to help you get the best resolution under the IRS guidelines. Help is here to deal with the IRS to reduce your stress. We've handled thousands of cases, so we know what we're doing. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a tax doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
Call 800-224-6439.